Hello, I'm Colin Gautry and I'd like to welcome you to Building a Powerful Reputation. This is a course that has been in the making for many years, and I've invested a huge amount of time and effort in creating it for you. Why? Because I want you to gain a huge amount from it. I want you to get the benefit that you signed up for, build the reputation, build the influence, overcome the problem of being ignored, overlooked and taken for granted. More than anything, I want you to be successful. So in this short video, I just want to really quickly tour through the different modules that we've got lined up, tell you a little bit about how to make the most of this, how to gain maximum value from this opportunity, but also give you a bit of a helping hand to get started and get off to a quick start, I think. So to begin with, we've got 6 modules, and my recommendation is that you take your time over these and maybe look at doing one per week, which is around, because there is quite a bit of work to do. But to begin with, wherever you're coming from, if you're just feeling frustrated and lacking in progress and want to get more out of your working life, or if you've got your sights set on a very senior position or something like that and you need to build your rep, wherever you are, the beginning starts with actually taking stock and looking at what your situation is, what you've done in the past, why you're not where you want to be right now, but also, and I think this is critically important, looking at your environment, looking at where it is you want to build your reputation, because you can't have a really good, strong, powerful reputation everywhere. So the opportunity here is to focus down on specifically where you want to see your success and see that move forward. So in the first module, we're going to be looking at your environment, the context in which you're operating, and really what it is you're trying to achieve here. From that, we then move into the second module, which is about defining exactly what sort of impression you want to create. And presumably you want more influence, you want to build a better impression, make a stronger impact. But exactly what are you going to do, and what are you going to shoot for? And that's why it's really important in module 1 you get a firm fix on your context, because you've got to design something that's actually going to work, that's going to do the job and get what you want, rather than something that is not really going to be valued by the people in your arena, as we call it. So you've got to get very clear on exactly what sort of impression, what sort of reputation you ideally want to be able to make. Then in module 3, what we turn to is actually building substance and credibility to back up what it is you want to actually achieve. So the reputational goals, this isn't about faking it until you make it. This is about saying, okay, that's where I want to get to. Now, what have I got to have behind me? What has the foundation got to be in order to justify that reputation, to maximize it? And I'm not saying you haven't got substance now. I'm sure you've got a lot of very good things. A lot of what this is about, and in module 3, is about aligning your resources, aligning your assets, aligning your capability to your reputational goals, and then making the most of them. How you actually display them, how you demonstrate them. And this is not about getting boastful. It's not about sort of saying that you're things that you're not. This is about being very authentic and making the most of every opportunity to drive forward your progress towards your reputational goals. Then in module 4, what we've got to look at is, well, how things are really operating around you in the arena in which you wish to be successful. So we'll look at power, and from this we're going to be drawing a lot from other workshops and courses that I've run, because I have been speaking and working in the subject of power for a great many years now. But I want to make it really simple so that you can identify who are the real key people that you need to make the right impression with, and how you can actually start to connect with them and use your reputation, use your substance to add value to their world, to their power, because you've got to have people supporting you. Which is where we drop into then module 5, which is about, well, how do you attract the attention of these key people, these power brokers, the ones who can really give you the acceleration and the lift and the increased influence? How do you get noticed? How can you get them to start to recognize that actually you've got a contribution to make? How do you get them to start listening to you? And more importantly, how do you start to get them promoting you, advocating you, and helping you to move forward and achieve your goals? Reputational goals, but also the success of your role, your career, what it is you're trying to do. So you've got to get those people on side once you've identified who they are. And that really leads into module 6, which is about launching your reputation. So we're going to do a lot of work about a lot of thinking, a lot of analysis, a lot of planning. But at the end of the day, you've got to actually do something. And believe it or not, you've already got a reputation. But this is perhaps about relaunching in a nice, in a very concerted way, in a very deliberate and focused way, this sort of impression that you want others to start to gain of you. And I think that's really where the key comes in. So we're going to do a bit of planning and a little bit of strategizing in that module to help you really lift off and launch into a much more powerful and successful and influential future. So a couple of tips in terms of how to get the most from this opportunity. The first thing is take it seriously. I mean, you've invested in terms of dollars and pounds. You've also invested time. So do take it seriously and take this as being a key part of your development over the next six weeks to really sort of apply yourself and look at it. It's not that it's deadly serious, but it's important to you. You signed up for this for a reason. And that reason is you want to get somewhere where you're not at the moment. So treat it seriously, look at the exercises, be diligent, keep coming back to it, and make sure that you are making the most of the resources that we've put at your disposal. A key part of this is also about observing others. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to create something new. You can look at what other people are doing in your environment and start to notice what is working and what is not working, and then relate it back to you and what you're trying to achieve. So a lot of the exercises that we've got are actually saying to you, go on, have a look at who the role models are, who else is working in this area and really creating a great reputation, or who's making a complete hash of it. So a lot of it will be about opening your eyes, understanding what's going on, but also learning from other people. There's an awful lot of reading here as well, and what I would encourage you to do, because I don't know exactly what your situation is or where you're coming from or even where you're trying to get to, so we've put in an awful lot of additional resources in the premium access so that you can read around the subjects that you feel are most useful for you to study a little bit more on. And again, there's much more exercises, and a lot of what I do is saying, okay, so this is where you are, here's an idea, how does it apply to you? So keep reading around, look at more articles. We're obviously going to keep it quite well focused in terms of building reputation within the course, but in the premium access areas you'll be able to see an awful lot more. So go and have a read. And remain positive. I think this is a key thing. I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit later in the introductory sort of exercises, but attitude is really important. And I think it's sort of now time for you to say, okay, this is going to be different. I'm now going to turn a corner. I'm now going to turn over a new leaf, and let's really see what we can get out of this. Let's see how I can move into a completely different territory, start to actually have a completely different feel to the way work is. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people coming into this program are a little bit, sort of beleaguered. They're struggling, they're frustrated, and when people are like that, quite often I notice quite naturally, there's a few negative attitudes starting to grow a bit, quite naturally and understandably. But now it's time for something new. Now it's time for a little bit of optimism, and with the help that we've got here, I hope you can actually cultivate a much more positive attitude so that you can be driving forward your career and helping a lot of other people around you as well. The final thing here is do the exercises. I mean, we put a lot of time and effort into thinking of the right questions that we think you need to answer on a particular part of the module or of the course. And we do that so that you can relate it properly and accurately to your world. And that's really important because it's your journey after all, so you've got to apply yourself, and the exercises are there to help you to apply yourself. And I suppose one final tip, do the exercises. Now, you really do need to do these exercises. Get on with them, write them in your notebook, chew over them, and if you've got the support package or the email support, then fire in your results to your thinking and your response to the exercises and the questions we ask, and then we'll be able to give you a little bit of feedback and actually help you to move a little bit further forward. So to begin with, to get into it, Below, you'll see a number of different exercises that are really sort of preparatory. And the first one is to, sort out your aims and objectives. I mean, what are you here for? Why are you, is it you're trying to do? Where are you trying to get to? So I'd like you to sort of start to think about charting down, okay, so as a result of this workshop or this course, what is it you want to achieve? And set some goals. And hopefully we'll be able to move you well towards those, if not completely in. But it depends how high your sights are set. So have a think about it, and then as you move through the course, you'll be able to think about how you are applying yourself to those overriding aims and objectives. Another thing that we put a lot of store on is about, because frankly, I mean, we've titled this Building a Powerful Reputation. However, fundamentally, it's about becoming much, much better at influencing those around you, the important people around you, your stakeholders, so that they can. So there is a lot towards that we a lot of stock that we put in, becoming a professional influencer. So many of the resources that you'll see, particularly in the premium access areas, are all driving towards making it a professional skill set, something that you can actually turn to any situation and actually be able to achieve better, stronger outcomes. But it's also really important that you apply yourself with integrity. I mean, we put a lot of store in that. I've written extensively on the subject of ethics and influence, and we operate a code, because what we're not going to be doing here is helping you to take advantage of other people, to put other people down, to trample over people. What we believe, and what I've been espousing for quite a long time now, is that you can get the success that you want without trampling on other people, without dishing out harm. And I think it's really important that you see that everything that we're doing, connect it to your sense of integrity. So there's an exercise below that will help you start to work out what your integrity is, what your values are, and what you need to make sure and look after. And the final thing, which I mentioned earlier on in this introductory part, is the attitudes that you adopt. And attitudes make a huge difference to the results that you get. So watch the video below, do the exercises, and start to think, okay, what attitudes are going to help you in your drive to become a much more successful person and to build a powerful reputation. So I'm going to close there, redirect you down below to look at the initial exercises, watch a couple of videos, and then hopefully you'll be in a very good position to get started on Module 1. So see you again soon.